Greetings Earthlings, welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm super excited to get into because I am doing the 10 art style challenge video. If you're familiar at all with like art YouTube, this is probably one of the most iconic videos that you could do. And it's been one that I have been so keen to do since the beginning of my channel. We're just gonna get right into it. Let's go. Alrighty, so the first art style I wanted to do was my own. I wanted to use this as a kind of base for all the other art styles. So I am going to be drawing my persona. Now, if you guys watched my last video, you will have seen that I created my new persona that you see now. I thought it would be really good to draw her to kind of see when trying to adapt into these art styles, what elements of the design that I keep and what are the details that will just get lost. When drawing in my style, I feel like it's really hard for me to objectively look at my own art and what about it is my style. But lately, I feel like I have kind of gotten in a groove of drawing in a particular way that I guess is my style. One thing that I picked up lately that I really love doing is adding like little diamond reflections in the eyes. I can't even remember where I saw someone do it now, but I saw it and I started adding it, and I feel like it just like adds so much more fun to my art. So we'll see how long I keep doing that, I guess. For the actual drawing itself, I went for something really simple because I wanted it to be a foundation that I use for the other drawings. Nothing too complicated, as I'm gonna have to draw 10 drawings for this video. So here she is. I'm really happy with it. I think it's really cute and simple. Let's just keep it moving. The first art style that I wanted to tackle is Young Justice. Now, this show holds a very special place in my heart. I grew up watching this and I was obsessed with pretty much everything about it, and it's a big inspiration. And so when I was thinking about making this video, there was no doubt that this was going to be the first art style that I do. I feel like my persona can fit quite well into the show, especially because she has powers, and I feel like if she was in it, she would be able to help teleport people. And so when it came to designing her outfit, I didn't really have to change too much. The main thing that I did was I moved her moon crescent tag to be an earring, and I also added the moon crescent to her belt as well to kind of make it more of that like superhero logo. A key thing in this art style is because it was made for animation, I also removed a lot of detail from her original design and tried to keep it as simple as I could, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was a fun challenge. I also added a undershirt to her jacket. I honestly don't really remember why I did this, but I felt like it added a little bit more of like a combat vibe that she might need. Her color palette, I didn't really have to change too much. I think the vibrant purple works quite well, and I think it balanced out quite well with her darker colors. Honestly, I felt myself really relaxed while doing this one. I think there was so many references. It was really quite easy to adapt my persona into the style. And so I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think she looks great. Alright, and the next one we're doing is Monster High. They are the moment. They are the icons themselves. I had to do this art style because I am still a Monster High lover. I still am buying Monster High dolls of the new gen. This art style is so iconic to me. And again, I feel like my persona kind of fit really well into this. She is a space demon, so those were just some really clear motifs that I was trying to channel. Didn't really have to change her outfit too much again, except this time I wanted to add more detail, as with Monster High dolls, they're a fashion doll, so I think lots of prints and details are important to the design. So you'll see me like add lots of textures and layers. Of course, with her shoes, I had to turn her heel into a moon crescent because I feel like that's just like an iconic thing of Monster High, is having heels with different things on them. This art style I found quite fun again. I definitely appreciated how the lines weren't too thin. You'll see with a lot of these art styles that I've picked ones that have quite clean lines. And one thing I really struggle with is line art. And so I've had to try like upping my stabilization and playing around with different brushes, but I still think some of them are like a bit shaky and they could have been cleaner. For my first attempt, I'm not too upset by it. Again, her color palette pretty much stayed the same because I could be as vibrant as I wanted and I could give her her holographic jacket. It was towards the end that I was looking at the design and I was like, man, I really need to do something with the leggings. They just look so plain. And so I thought I'd put like a space pattern on it, and then I just basically made the galaxy leggings. So I had to scrap that. And then I came up with the idea of just doing like a really simple like star constellations across the pants. And I think it worked way better than my original idea. I am obsessed. And I've been getting into doll customization, so this really makes me want to try and make like a doll of her. Continuing the theme of my childhood inspirations, Winx is another show I grew up watching and adored. I think it was such a fun show, even though I don't think I could watch it now today and have the same feelings, unlike Young Justice. Still am very fond of this show and I love watching any like redesign video whenever I see them. This style I actually struggled with quite a bit. I think it's something to do with the line art of it. It's like deceivingly hard. I don't know. I did end up changing my persona to be a human for this one, as I do think there are other creatures in the Winx universe, but I wanted to make a fairy. You can't stop me. So this actually gave me kind of like a fun challenge in I wanted to keep like her horns, and so I ended up making like little buns, kind of like hint at that. And I thought they were super cute. I'm really happy with that. Now, I kept her color palette pretty much the same, except with these fairy designs, they don't seem to incorporate too many colors. So I tried to keep the palette like super simple. I gave her sleeves and like I kind of wanted it to still hint at the idea of like the jacket. I ditched the pants. I did originally sketch an idea with pants, but I really wanted her to have like knee-high boots. And so then I just decided to change it to the skirt, which I think is both are super cute. With her wings, I ended up making them both little crescents. I thought that was super, super cute. Not too sure what she would be the fairy of. I'm guessing she would have to be the fairy of like the moon, similar to how like Stella is the fairy of the shining sun. Something like that. Maybe she's the fairy of eclipse. I'm not too sure how that would work, but it's cool to think of. I honestly don't have that much to say about this design, but I thought she came out super cute, and I'm really happy with the final product. It's definitely not my best one, though. Teen Titans Go. Oh boy. This show is like way funnier than it should be. My thought process for picking it was I really wanted to do the Teen Titans art style as well, but I thought that was a bit too similar to some of the other ones I picked, like Young Justice. So then actually my boyfriend suggested doing this style as a way to kind of try a more interesting art style, but still being in. Thus, that's how we got here. This one was really fun to do, and again, I feel like it was pretty easy to translate my character into it. I just had to really simplify her outfit. I also chose to make her eyes a bit more vibrant in this one, just to really add a bit more of a pop of color. And I got to play around with her hair a little bit to make it a bit more swishy. And I'm really happy with this one. I think it's super cute. Next up, we've got Bravest Warriors. Now, this is a show that I distinctly remember binging all on YouTube and just finding it really fun and entertaining. I originally was gonna pick Adventure Time as a style, but I felt like that would be a bit of a challenge to translate my persona into. And then I remembered Bravest Warriors and I was like, that's the same art style, it's just in a different setting. And so I really just relaxed and kind of entered a flow state, I guess. I tried to emulate the way that they kind of colored their uniforms. There she is. I feel like she came out adorable, and I think she would work in the show, I think. Alright, here we go. Sailor Moon. This was the one that took me the longest. Now, I didn't necessarily watch much Sailor Moon growing up, but I do remember having a strong affection towards the art style. I remember I once had like this giant like A3 paper and I drew me and my friends all as like Sailor Moon characters. And I think that just sums up like there's something so endearing about the art style that I had to do it. Again, this one I turned her into a human because I just figured that'd be easier. I did decide to give her the little buns at the top of my head, similar to Sailor Moon, to kind of emulate the horns again. This art style definitely took me the longest because I really wanted the pose to work and feel like Sailor Moon, but also the line art is a lot thinner than I'm used to. And so I had to be a lot more delicate about what I was doing. I remember specifically struggling with the legs a lot because Sailor Moon characters have very long legs, but if you make it too long, it's gonna just look really off. And so I had to really play around with the proportions. I didn't have to really experiment too much with the outfit as I gave her the classic Sailor Moon uniform. Of course, I added some moon crescents throughout it. This one has ended up being like one of my favorites. I think I did a pretty good job on getting the vibe right. I even added a like yellow filter over it just to really give that like old Sailor Moon vibes. I am so happy with this final result. I think it looks really, really good and I'm really proud of myself for that one. Now, I don't think it's going to be a new opinion to say that Studio Ghibli has one of the most beautiful art styles in animation at the moment, and that I love it. I will say, I struggled so hard with this one. I think I got a bit overwhelmed. Unlike my other choices, which tend to have a set world that they're in, Studio Ghibli has so many different movies that you can kind of step into that are different. So this one, I was like, well, just like draw her in a Studio Ghibli style. But I'm like, I had no idea what world I was kind of going for, so I was like, do her shoes make sense? I don't know. So I kind of overthought a lot of it. I also struggled a lot with the anatomy of this. I don't know, particularly with the legs. I was just like struggling to figure that out, but we got there, I guess, in the end. I also, with the color palette, I actually desaturated a lot of the colors. So I find that like I didn't want it to be overly saturated, as Studio Ghibli tends to have a lot more of like a realistic color palette. Here's the final one. I did remember to put the nose ring on this one. I had to go back on a bunch of them and add a nose ring where I thought it fit because I realized I just forgot to do that for like most of them. Yes, I did My Little Pony. I had to make a pony sona. It was inevitable at this point. I think there's just something so charming about ponies. I did have like a few thoughts on like whether I make her something like a cow to kind of give her the two horns, but I scrapped that and I just ended up making her just like a regular unicorn because I thought that was cute and it kind of ties into her magic. I struggled actually quite a bit with stylizing the hair because I feel like My Little Pony has a very distinct way that they like draw hair, and the way I draw my persona's hair, it's like kind of confusing to translate. So I try and add some more colors in there later to like hopefully make a bit more sense, but I think the hair is where this is lacking. I of course gave her a cutie mark and I decided to give her a little like moon crescent with like a devil tail and horns in the red, like, and then some little stars next to it. I thought that was like a fun nod to it. I don't know. I feel like it's really hard to like simplify a cutie mark. It's a real challenge. Here she is. I think she's super cute. I don't know what her name would be. Do you have any ideas for what her name could be? I don't know if Pryfalls would fit like naming conventions. Last but definitely not least, we have the Mighty Nine. Now, I originally was gonna do the Vox Machina style, then Mighty Nine came out and I was just like, oh, I have to do this one. Something about it, the way they draw eyes, I just think is awesome. And I love all things Critical Role, so the show was just right up my alley. Now, translating my persona, of course I had to make her a tiefling, one of my inspirations for her design, so it just was an easy thing to do. The challenging part was actually her outfit, because I like trying to make it fit in the world, and so a bright shiny purple spacesuit doesn't really fit the Mighty Nine. So I tried to make it more of like a poncho thing, and then simplifying it even more. And I don't mind the final result, but I kind of feel like it's almost too simple now. I also like messed around with the colors to make them a bit more muted, and I turned her like gear, like her boots and her belt, I made them more of like a brown, because I thought the silver was just a little bit too odd, and a lot of characters in the show have like brown boots and browns. So that was my thought process there. I adored playing with this style, and honestly, I'm taking notes. Here she is. Let me know how I did if you like it. And that concludes the 10 art style challenge. Oh my god, I'm so proud of myself for powering through and getting this video done. And it was really fun to like reflect on like the shows and media that I grew up watching and like how they could have influenced my style to what it is now. Please let me know how you think I did. What's your favorite one? And thank you so much for watching this far. Please check out my socials or check out my previous video if you haven't already on how I made this persona. Until next time, see ya!